Hi folks, this is the introduction and welcome to the Discipleship module for Dunoon Baptist College. It's part of the module set, Basics of Faith, and you might question whether discipleship is really a basic of faith, but it is. And the modules on the basics of faith are meant to start with a starting point that anybody can get a hold of. We don't require lots of pre-knowledge, but they will get quite deep and there'll be a lot of information and a lot of material. So don't think it's not difficult or to do assignments and these things. But if you want to come along and listen, we don't expect you to have a lot of knowledge to begin with. And we're looking at discipleship. And this little video is just an introduction to the module. But just to basically start with what we're talking about in discipleship, it's following Jesus. A disciple of somebody, and there are other people that people follow, other gurus and swamis and different imams and different people of different religions that people follow. And they are saying, I will learn from you, but I will also take on your habits, your guidance, your leading. And it's meant to be significantly more than just learning something and doing the rules. And living as a Christian is about discipleship. It's the process of following Jesus. We keep doing it. And then part of discipleship is the process of helping others follow Jesus. So discipleship has the two sides of things. One is you following, and then one is you bringing other people along with you and helping them follow too. And so those are the things that we're going to be looking at. Let me take you through, first of all, just the subjects we're going to cover, basically the module program. The first week, next week, we'll be looking at this idea of disciples as opposed to converts. That a lot of religion thinks Christianity is all about converting people, but it's not about converts. Jesus called us to make disciples. And so we need to think a little bit more about that and what that means. And then we'll look at Jesus and his disciples. And that might take more than 1 week, I can imagine, because Jesus called his 12 disciples. He called 72 disciples. He spent time with 3 disciples or 4 disciples. And he does lots of different things with each of them. And so we're going to have a little bit of a look at the starting point of our discipleship, which is following Jesus himself and how he brought others on that process. After that, we'll look at other parts of the Bible that mandate it, that talk about it, that discuss discipleship or similarly have a similar process. So, for example, in the Old Testament is the relationship Moses had with Joshua, that he brought him along and taught him how to lead. Is that the same thing as what we see in the New Testament? So we'll have a little bit of a look at that. One of the things that might be helpful for some people as they do this module is they might be thinking, actually, it would be really helpful for me to do some discipleship or to be discipled. I could do with that encouragement, that backup, somebody who's going to walk with me, or I could do with really investing in somebody else. I've spent a lot of time teaching. I know a lot. I've learned a lot. But it's not enough just to teach. I need to really bring some people through. And so we'll look at that process of initiating discipleship and how that might work. Then we're going to look at some discipleship models. There are one-to-one discipleship style things. There are one-to-many discipleship things, essentially looking at how different groups have different programs. Discipleship models include things like alpha courses, and why do they run that way, and what's the process there and what's going on there, because an alpha course is a discipleship course. And so we look at those sorts of things like freedom in Christ and alpha courses. We look at other different models, different styles for how we build connections and how people have seen discipleship. We'll also look at some of the broken discipleship models, some of the things that people have abused and ruined and made a mess of, There have been discipleship models where people have said, oh, you need to follow me, come and follow me, leave your money, give me your money, leave your home, give me everything, come and stay with me, you need to follow me. And you think, hold on, there's something going on there that isn't quite right. So we'll look at a number of discipleship models. And then essentially, in all those models, there are different things that you try and do. How do we follow Jesus? Well, in the first module that we did, we said, well, how do I grow my faith? I read the Bible, I pray, I fast, I learn the gospel, I share my testimony, I speak to people, I memorize things, I do all these little things that help me grow in my faith. And essentially, those are all methods of discipleship. They're all part of the process of following Jesus. And there are also methods for how you bring somebody else along that journey as well, how you do that with another person or a group of other people, and what that might look like. So we'll look at some of those methods as well. Hope this isn't putting you off. I'm quite enjoying this. This is sounding good to me. I'm excited about the idea. And then we'll look at how church and discipleship are connected. Essentially, one of the key ingredients of church is that process of helping each other. And when church becomes a building, or when church becomes a service that you go to, a congregation that sit and listen while somebody preaches, and that's it, then it's missing a lot of what church is supposed to be in terms of discipleship. So we'll look at the early church, and we'll look at how church works now. And then we'll have a brief look at how discipleship is used in mission in different contexts. People go back comparing missions from a long time ago and looking at ones that are successful and ones that aren't. And discipleship can be a key part of good mission. And because it isn't just about getting people converted or writing the Bible in a different language, it's got to be about bringing people through and bringing them up until they can teach others and they can lead a church and they can develop more. So we'll look at discipleship and mission. And then we'll look at the practical disciple, what it means just as a practical follower, some of the things that we face and the struggles, but also some of the good things and some of the ways to make it, to put into practice this process of following Jesus. So we'll look at all of these things. I hope that doesn't sound too heavy, but I hope it sounds interesting and meaty and something you could get into. And that's where we're going. That's what we're going for. Now, there are some people that won't worry about these things, these assignment topics, because they're just here to do a discipleship group and a class where they get to talk about some things and they'll learn some things and they'll grow in their faith. And that, I appreciate that and I enjoy that. And I'm glad that those who are studying have people to bounce ideas off and things to work. So I'm not complaining at all about that. And if you're here and just enjoying this, then I'm glad you're with us. But there are some people who would like to do assignments. Unlike most of the other modules that we've done, there are 3 possibilities for assignments. Normally there are 2. Normally you write a report, a written report, and you do an oral presentation, and you do one on one assignment topic and one on another. And again, those 2 options are available for this module. So if you want to write a report on one of these 10 topics, you can do that. But also, if you want to do a presentation on one of these 10 topics, you can do that. The third possibility is to initiate a discipleship relationship and to talk a little bit about that at the end. So if you think that actually it would be very helpful for you to try and get involved in discipleship, whether that's you being discipled or you discipling somebody else, either way, to try and make that relationship happen. And you'll come across very quickly some of the issues and difficulties and awkward things and things that work and things that don't. But you'll also find the development of that friendship and relationship, the growth of that in that. So that's the other possibility. So if you're going to do that, you still need to do one of the other 2, either an oral presentation or a written report, but only one of them. So you've got 3 options here. You can do an assignment on a written report on one of these 10 topics. You can do an oral presentation on one of these 10 topics, or you can do the building of a discipleship relationship. Now, if you're not sure how to write a report or how to do a presentation, well, talk to me or look at the website again, and you'll see there on our website, there's a little bit just simply saying, this is what we expect of a presentation. It's a 10-minute or 5 to 10 minute presentation. You need a few slides. The first one has your name and the title and, you know, the module on it. And the next one has a few points, and the next one has a few points, and that's you done. The same with the written report, how many words or what we expect, just to help people understand. So if you're interested in those things, look that up or talk to me. But these are some of the topics. And even if you're not doing the assignments, you might find the topics interesting because it'll lead you a little bit through the process that we're going through in the module. So we're going to look at processes and incidences or incidents in growing faith. So discuss the importance of processes and events, essentially, in growing faith. When you start and you grow, what takes you from there to there? Some of it is particular incidents that happen in your life, and some of it is processes, and some of it's just events, and some of it is movement, gradual learning and growth. So that's one of the assignment topics, just to compare and contrast those things, think through that idea of processes and events or incidents. Then we look at Jesus in discipleship. What did he do in discipleship that we can and can't copy? Obviously, there's things that Jesus can do that we can't copy, but if we're going to try and follow Jesus, what does that look like? What did he ask his followers to do directly, and what did that look like? And what can we take from that? What can we learn from that? And what is impossible because we're not Jesus? Then we look at the Old Testament and the New Testament processes of discipleship. How do both testaments show the process of discipleship? Or compare Old Testament and New Testament leadership development with emphasis on discipleship. So what does leadership development in Old Testament look like, and what does leadership development in New Testament look like? And compare them on a discipleship basis to see what's similar and what's different. And then we'll go on to describe a discipleship relationship you've experienced with emphasis on the methods used. Have you had any experience? Has somebody discipled you? Have you discipled somebody else? And what does that look like? What has been the experience of that? And then the next one is to choose a discipleship model for an individual and another for a group, and compare and contrast how they're done. Do you do different things if you're working with a group than you do from an individual? Obviously you do. But what does that look like? Then the next one says, well, create your own discipleship model and explain your decisions. And that's, again, looking at methods as well as looking at modeling. It's saying, well, what would your model include? What methods would you use if you're going to disciple somebody, or if somebody is going to disciple you? What kind of model would you choose? And number 8 there as an option is, how does your church do discipleship, and how could it improve? I know our church could improve in discipleship. I know every church can do more. But what does that look like? Do they do it? In what context? How does that growth work? And how could it improve? And how can discipleship be included in mission, and is it important? How does it fit into that context of mission? And then finally, compare biblical discipleship with business leadership development. In business, they do leadership development. They do sort of different programs to help somebody. And actually, one of our programs for getting people involved in church includes quite a lot of like character recognition. And if you've done Getting In, you'll remember all the different triangles and squares and things, and how you're supposed to understand your character and your desires and your abilities, and then and include that in your development and how you're going to grow and do leadership and be part of the church. And that's the same in some of leadership development. We took some of that, Jürgen and Michaela took a lot of that from the leadership development that they do. But there's more to discipleship than leadership development. And what would that look like? And what shape does that take in our world? So comparing biblical discipleship with business leadership development. So there's a whole load of topics, but it's also quite a lot of the stuff we're going to try and cover in the module and help you think through some of that. So that's there, and those are assignment topics. If you're thinking of doing an assignment, I have books to help you with it, and I'll take you through them in a moment. Some of them are here, I have more. I have discipleship programs and things as well that I've used, and I have some of those available, whether that's Alpha or Freedom in Christ, or I have some from Northern Ireland that I used there. The Exodus group there did a lot of youth discipleship. They called it their 360 series, the Exodus 360 series. I've done with the church in Edinburgh, I did the School of Christian Discipleship. I've done, sneakily did it. I didn't pay for it, I'm afraid, but my friends were doing it and they lent me all the material, so I copied it. But there you go. So we have all that sort of stuff as well, looking at discipleship models. But there are some books on discipleship. Some of the older ones, going back to David Watson down at the bottom here, 1981 on discipleship. That's one of the first books that was really pushing it. And in the 80s, there was a lot of then follow-up on that, some that was good and some that perhaps wasn't so good. But a lot of them are a lot more recent and are interesting. Some of them go back, like Tozer is called The Pursuit of God, and that's an amazing book. It's one of the books that's really changed my life. But it's really about pursuing God, and essentially following Jesus is pursuing after him. And again, Watchman Nee, one of the old books from the 50s, he's again saying, look, the normal Christian life is to follow hard after God, to pursue him, to love him deeply. And although they don't use the word discipleship, there's a lot going on there. So they're available for free online. You can read them for nothing. You don't even have to download them. They're all there. All the text is there for you to have a look at. So you can get the two of them for free. But there are more recent books, McGrath's Mere Discipleship. There's one, this one, The Message of Discipleship, is part of the BST series. And again, Peter Morden is looking at some of the processes, some of the methods, some of the models and things for discipleship, but also at the deeper message going back to Jesus. So there's some very helpful books there, and I have some of those. So if you're there on Wednesday, or if you contact me on Thursday, or if you're doing the online Zoom chat on Thursday, I might be able to get you some of the books so you can have a look at them. So those are some of the books that might be helpful. Just to explain again how the module's going to run. Each week on Monday, or very late on Monday usually, because I was playing football this evening, but on Monday I will upload a video which is an introduction to the material for the week. Then on Wednesday or Thursday, you don't need to do both. You can come week about. You can do, if you're working one Wednesday and have to come on a Thursday, no problem. We're going to do a chat about it. We're going to do a live chat on Wednesday in the church at 4:30. It will be socially distant. We'll be wearing masks, but we'll have a conversation about the week's material, and we'll talk through it again, and we'll follow through on it. And then on Thursday, the same will happen on Zoom at 6 o'clock. So 4:30 on Wednesday live at the church, or 6 on Thursday on Zoom. And hopefully you can get a hold of one of those two options and be part of that. So if you can't, let me know and we'll try and work something else out. Along with the video, the slides that I'm using, these slides will go up on our website, and the notes for each week will go up on the website too. Let me stop sharing this so I can go to the web. I hope that I can find that. So if I, how do I get to, there's my button there. If I go to Dunoon Baptist Church.org, and one of the tabs along the top is Dunoon Bible College. I click on that. It goes through the introduction and then the modules that we've done so far. And this is module 5 on discipleship. We can find them on the YouTube channel, but the notes are also available here. So the notes are here, and the slides that I've just shown you are there, and the video will also be linked in here. So each week I'll add more to these so that you can follow what's going next and keep ahead. So that's where they are, and hopefully you can find them and access them easy enough. If there's anything else you need from me, or if you'd like to do the module but don't know how, or need need some more information, just contact us on the church website. You'll find us, there it is, contact us there. But if I can help in any way, no problem. But if you're doing it with us in this month, in April of 2021, then you don't need to pay anything. You can just join us and be part of it. It doesn't cost anything. It's just if we're going to roll out later on and let people use the material, then we would charge people later. But anyway, that's mostly for marking material and all that. And sending certificates. Send certificates. So if you'd like to be part of the module, it's just look at the video. Well, I assume you are, because you've just about finished it. And then get the notes from here, get the PowerPoint slides to go with it here, and then either see us on Wednesday or Thursday. Hope that all makes sense to you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you. And I hope you enjoy thinking about discipleship, but more getting deeper involved in discipleship, doing something a bit more in terms of discipleship. So I hope to see you this week. Thanks.